You're watching Dishing with the Duchess. I'm the Duchess of Beaverton, and you're not. No, you are not having a hallucination brought on by some illegal drugs. I am here, the Duchess of Beaverton, for another episode of Dishing with the Duchess. In this episode, I will be reading your questions that you have sent to me. I'm here in my little nook at Beaverton Castle. I had to get away from the grand ballrooms and into my little private nook so I could be here with you. So shall we begin? Our first question comes from Barbie C. She says, "My darling Duchess, you are a phenomenon. Unlike myself, I do believe that we have one thing in common: adoring lovers." Barbie, darling, you have adoring lovers. Congratulations. My question is, what does Blanche think of you having lovers while she seems content working in her garden and having tea and cucumber sandwiches? Well, my darling, darling Barbara, I will tell you, Blanche does not really care that much about what I do in my private boudoir. She tends to the garden, as you said, and grabs the tea and, is there for me when I need a shoulder to cry on. I do believe she's happy for me, though, getting back out there and getting my minge explored as it should be. As it should be. So I hope that I answered your question, darling. I hope I did. It's quite a lovely one about lovers. Our next question here comes from Dear Jojo. Jojo writes, "Hello, Duchess. Now, you can do a posh English accent, but can you do a common English accent or a Northern English accent?" No. And I don't know why I would want to, my darling. I mean, yes, I used to be a common girl, I did, back in the day. Back in the days of the poles and the dollar bills. But why would one want to have a common accent if one does not need it or possess it? I don't even think I could remember. I hope that answers your question, as it's a solid no from me, darling. Thank you, Jojo, my dear. Our next little question comes from our dear little Annie H. Dear Duchess, I've been with my man for 25 years. Well, first of all, darling, congratulations on that, my dear. How do we spice things up? I tried seducing him with nachos the other night, but it didn't work. Was it plain nachos, darling, or did you have the little green peppers in there? Little spicy things? I would say, darling, do more with your minge and less with your food. That would be my suggestion to you. Learn some tricks, my dear. Learn some tricks to turn the boring old minge into something constructive, like a transformer. Our next question comes from Kyle M. Dear Duchess, when will you move to America? My dear Kyle, it's a quite simple answer. There's a few things I have left to do here in Beaverton before my son fully takes over the dukedom. Once that is done, my T's are crossed and my I's are dotted, as they say, I will be catapulting myself to the United States of America. So very soon, my darling, very soon. Not much left to do in the old Beaverton. So I thank you for your question. Crystal G writes, will you marry again? Oh, my dear Crystal, no one will ever be able to replace my dear late husband, Magnus. Though I have had many replaces, filled bowls, but no one will ever be able to replace him in my heart. I don't know is the actual answer to that, my darling. One never knows in those situations. One may say, I will never marry again. And then all of a sudden, boom, here comes somebody galloping into their life. And they put a ring on their finger. I just must make sure that the rock is big enough and sparkly enough. Darlene T writes, what's the most important thing to keep up to please my man? Well, darling, there's a really, really simple, quick answer for that. One might go on and say, keep a happy home, tend to the children. But the real thing to keep your man pleased is a properly managed minge. You must take care of your minge, darling. Care for it, pamper it, talk to it. Make sure it's properly clean. And by all means, exercise it. Use that minge, darling. Use it. Use it to your advantage. And he will be pleased. I promise you he will. So I hope, darling, that I answered your question. And I thank you all for them. Now, my darlings, a different type of question coming along. I have a video question. A video question sent by a Trailer Park Davida. Well, let us all take a little gander at it, shall we? Blanche! Blanche, roll the clip!
Hey Duchess, it's Davida calling from the trailer park in South Carolina. Well, now I've been watching your YouTube videos and I do need your advice. How am I about to make this trailer park classy like me and you? I need your advice on how to get their chickens out of the yard, their beat up bicycles, and those metal barrels that they burn things in. It's so not classy. Now, the men's, they love me, especially when I look like this, and I just need to catch me some good ones like you do. In my cooter, it needs to be ravished like your minge. Yes, now, I need some advice on how to make all these things better, and for me and everyone else in this trailer park, because it needs to be classy. Because when you come to America, I want it to be perfect. Yeah. Now, message me back or anything, video me with any questions you might want to ask, or just help me. Help me, please.
Where to begin? My darling Davida. It's true. I did come from a common background, and I became a regal and glorious and sophisticated Duchess. There's a lot of work, a lot of things to unbox in your situation, a lot of things to work on, my darling. I'll tell you what, I won't be able to answer your question on this video, but I will be in contact with you, my darling. I will keep close personal contact with you, and we shall see what transpires. Well, my darling beavers, that brings us to the end of this episode. I do hope you enjoyed it. It's a bit of a trial, these episodes, to see what works and what doesn't. I hope this worked, and I hope we can do it again. Until then, my darlings, I say to you, Bye-bye.